Well, praise the Lord and God bless you today, Facebook peeps. This is your mama, your sister, your auntie, your cousin, your niece, hopefully your friend, Beatrice Bruno, the Drill Sergeant of Life. And these are the Grief Chronicles with the Drill Sergeant of Life. And today is February the 14th, 2019. What we celebrate in the United States, and I don't know if it's all over the world or not, but Valentine's Day, the day that you spend with your loved ones, doing things with your loved ones, and just I don't know, just enjoying the day. But this is my children and I, our first Valentine's Day without Mr. Bruno, my beloved husband, and their wonderful father. And you know, since my husband passed, I've noticed that couples are kind of leery of, just touching on each other and being with each other when they're around me because it's like, well, she just lost her husband and we don't want to, provoke anything or anything like that. You won't. Just be yourself because to be honest with you, I love seeing couples loving on each other. And I tell them, I encourage them, love on each other. Please kiss, hug, do what y'all do, except don't go there. I'm just saying you might want to get a room or something like that. But one thing I'm learning through this period of grief that God is allowing me to experience is that I've changed. I've changed a lot. And I'm noticing it, and other people are noticing it, that this grief it's bringing me back to being who I was before in Beatrice. And, but I'm still learning who I am now that I'm, a widow, if you will, single in some cases. And it's interesting seeing this, me that I have become through the process of time and through losing my husband. And I'm enjoying the process, if you will, because now that I'm learning who I am, I'm learning the different things that I'm capable of doing. And to be honest with you, I'm far more capable of doing far more than I've ever realized before in my life. And I like that. And, as a person goes through the grief process, and learn the different people that they become, learn the different things that they can do. I find myself putting myself out there more now than I did when my husband was here with me, because so much depends on me moving my feet forward now. It really does. And my husband and I had a conversation probably about 6 months before he passed. And he said to me, baby, if anything ever happens to me, I want you to move on immediately. And, to which I replied, man, please, whatever, nobody's thinking about that. But I can see why he would say that. If you are in grief right now and you're not moving forward, if you are finding yourself in a place of just not doing anything, I want to caution you. Think about this. If a person does not use the muscles that they normally use, hey, Chester Holland, how you doing? God bless you. But if they don't use the muscles that they normally use, like the arm muscles, leg muscles, and what have you, those muscles will atrophy. And I hope I'm saying that right. But in other words, they will, from lack of use, they will start just not being useful to the person. Well, when you're going through grief, you have to be careful that you continue to use your mind, use your voice, get up and do exercises, walk around the block, eat properly, and do the things that you normally would do. But now that you're in a sad place, it's kind of hard for you to keep up doing those same things. But I want to encourage you today, get up, do something, walk around the block. I wear my Fitbit every day and I try to get in 10,000 steps every day. Sometimes I get over that. I get about 15,000 steps. But I got to keep going because my husband would want me to keep going. You see, I just turned 60 a couple of weeks ago, January the 21st, and I've got a lot of work to do. There's things I want to do, things that I want to get done, places that I want to go to that my husband, I know, would want me to continue on doing those things. So I want to encourage somebody today. Yes, I know you're in grief and I know that it's hard. It's sad. It really is. But your spouse, your husband, your wife would want you to move forward. They would want you to keep on going. If you have children, your children are looking at you and saying to them, saying to themselves, amongst themselves, Mom, Dad, what are you doing? And Chester, thank you so much for saying that. I really appreciate that. But your children are looking at you. Your family is looking at you saying, hey, look, get up. Come on, keep moving. And we've got to keep moving. I look at my kids, all four of them, Tara, William, John, EJ, my niece, Jakia, and my spiritual children. And they're all looking at me, seeing what I'm doing and how I'm moving forward because I have to. I have to keep going. God has a work for me, and I've got to continue doing what he has said for me to do for such a time as this. So I want to encourage somebody today. Yes, it's Valentine's Day, and I know you're sad. You're missing your loved one. I miss Mr. Bruno. A very good friend of mine, Priscilla Thompson, took me to lunch today at Saltgrass, and I got my piece of carrot cake, y'all. Getting ready to have some tea and carrot cake. But it was good just catching up with her, talking with her, fellowshipping with her, eating lunch with her, and just having a good time. And, to get my mind off of it a little bit, because yes, I miss my husband. I really do. And, but I didn't cry today. And to me, that's a win, because although I still miss him, I still got to move forward. And that's a part of my moving forward, is not crying out of sadness. Hey, Eric, how you doing? God bless you. Not moving so much out of sadness as out of purpose. I've got to keep moving forward. And yes, the grief is still going to be there for a little bit. And it's okay. It's okay for us to experience that grief. It's okay for us to cry, but we can't just sit in it. We really can't. Years ago, when I was a drill sergeant, I remember this one young man. As soon as he came to basic training, hey, Daryl, how you doing? As soon as he came to basic training, his girlfriend that he had left at home decided that she didn't want him anymore. And she wrote him a nice little letter. This was before, cell phones were popular, so she couldn't send a text message. But she sent him a letter saying that she didn't love him anymore and she was going to find somebody else. And that young man, for a period of I'd say about 36 hours, he was really down. Hey, Arvilla, God bless you. He was really down. But because he was in basic training and because I was his drill sergeant, I couldn't let him sit there. And yes, he had to grieve through that thing, because I think that was about the second week of basic training. And he had to grieve through that thing. But we had 6 more weeks of training so that he could become a soldier. Well, I'm happy to say that he became a soldier. And yes, he grieved through it. There were times when he would sit by himself. And I remember this very distinctly, because I was so sad for him, because his girlfriend waited until he got to basic training to say that she didn't love him anymore and that she was finding somebody else and she was leaving him. Do you know how that worked in his mind? He's trying to be a soldier. We had to take that young man to the rifle ranges and stuff, and to the hand grenade range. We still had to operate. But I told him, I said, son, she's not worth you. She just is not. And I said, you got to come on. You got to finish this basic training. Come on. We got to go and do what we got to do. And he did it. And so that's the soldier in us. And each of us, regardless of whether we served in the military or not, we have some soldier in us. There's a soldier in you. And if you're going through the grief process right now, let that soldier come out in a way of pushing you forward and causing you to move your feet so that you can continue to go forward and to do everything that God has called and created you to do for such a time as this. I know you're sad. Go through those periods of sadness, but then get up, Brush yourself off and keep moving forward, because that's what God is calling you to do for such a time as this. I got to do it. That's who I am. As many of y'all know, I preached at my husband's homegoing service because that's who I am. I'm the drill sergeant of life, and I got to keep going. I'm sad, yes, but there's still work for me to do. And I just want to encourage y'all today. Get up, get out, go forward, and do everything that God has called you to do. Yes, grieve as much as you need to. Hey, Pastor Ruben, how you doing? God bless you. Grieve as much as you need to, but you still got to move your feet forward, because God has a very specific work for you. So I just thank God that he's using me in this space of, I don't know if you want to call it grief counseling or just grief talking, talking to folks about grief. I did a grief conference. And if you look through my files, you'll see the entire service, Chronicles of Grief conference that I did this past Saturday. And it was really good. People got healed, delivered, and set free. But that's my calling for right now. That's what God has called me to do. He's allowed me to experience this just so I can go forth and help somebody else. So if you don't do anything else today, hey, will you share this with somebody that's going through the grief process right now and really don't know how to just get up and just go ahead and walk it out? Sometimes we got to walk stuff out. We really do. So I'm your mama, your sister, your auntie, your niece, your cousin, but hopefully, most of all, I'm your friend. This is Beatrice Bruno, the Drill Sergeant of Life, and these are the Grief Chronicles with the Drill Sergeant of Life. Please share this, because somebody needs to hear these words today. So God bless you. I love you with the love of Jesus. 9 to the front and 6 to the rear. You got that right, Chester Holland. God bless y'all, and I'll see you next time on the Grief Chronicles with the Drill Sergeant of Life. Love you, peeps. Bye-bye.